Hey guys, it's Ross going on the Space Couch today. We're joined by Lord Vader with his favourite toy, because we're a couple of days out now from Star Wars Celebration, and I thought I would share with you my memories of when I saw Star Wars, when it was Star Wars and not A New Hope, in the cinema back when I was a child. So, I don't know exactly when it came out in the UK. It was 1978, but I can't remember when. So, my birthday is in April, so either I was 6 or I was 7. And I remember we were in the lobby, and it was packed in the lobby, and there was posters for other movies, and there was like some sort of like Burt Reynolds car chase movie. Said, "Oh, are we going to see that?" And I remember Scott saying, "No, we're going to see Star Wars." And I remember I was going up the stairs into the auditorium, which must have been packed to capacity. I can still remember all the smoke in the air, because this is back when you could still smoke in cinemas on one side of the cinema. And then, of course, when the film started, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was completely hooked. I was like intent. Then obviously you get that amazing fanfare, and then the crawl started, and I was thinking, this very much reminds this is my adult self now, remembering how I was feeling as a child, but it's like, it was very familiar, the crawl, because I'd seen so many things like Flash Gordon that had used that, so it was very comfortable as a mechanism to see the crawl. I remember reading through it saying, I wonder what this space station must look like that can destroy an entire planet. Thinking it was going to be those kind of like low-budgety type things that you used to see in the Flash Gordon and those sorts of TV shows from the 30s. But, of course, that opening shot, the ship flying overhead, and then the Star Destroyer, I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had never seen anything like it in my life, and neither had anyone else at the time. It's been done a million times since, but it was the first one that I can recall that really did it properly, and it had such a huge impact. And then obviously it opens with the droids, and this just seemed perfectly natural. R2 and 3PO, I thought we were going to be following them the entire movie. I do recall there's when all the troopers, the rebel troopers, are in the corridor waiting for the stormtroopers to board, it lingers for a moment on a particular one of them, and he was someone that I recognised from other things that I'd seen in the UK, like say maybe like Space 1999, that sort of thing or whatever. But I recognised this guy's face. Oh, he's going to be a major character. No, he gets killed almost immediately. But yes, and then just watching the film, I was completely absorbed. It was real. It felt real. You know, it's like for me, the thing that really made it real was the sandcrawler, the Jawa sandcrawler, with the close-ups of the giant caterpillar treads. It just looked so real. I thought, there's no way it can possibly be fake. So that was me hooked. And of course, just watching it all unfold, and the moment when Luke goes out and gazes off into the twin sunset, it's like, with the music, it's like you were there. You could empathise with Luke Skywalker. We were all Luke Skywalker in that moment, you know? It's like, that was exactly how we all felt, gazing off into the distance, wondering, is life going to change? Will it ever get better? Am I just going to be stuck here? So that was the feeling that I had. And then, obviously, when you then later meet Han and Chewie, I thought Chewie was awesome. He just looked amazing. Which is odd, because in that cantina scene originally, there was a couple of characters that were, for a small child, a bit scary looking. There's the one that looked like the devil, which I think is a Deveronian. And then there's the werewolf, which has since been CGI'd out by something else. So I was very disappointed when I saw the special edition and that werewolf guy was gone, because it was always like a favourite character to see in there. And of course, Princess Leia, from the moment I saw her with R2-D2, when 3PO finds her, I was just completely in love with her. I thought she was amazing. She was a complete badass. Not that I knew what that word was at the time. And of course, then it all unfolds on the Death Star, and I just thought, how did they build all of this? This is just incredible, because the sets look like they are the actual facility. It's very clever what they can do with cameras and props and sets, of course. And it just, like I said, it just felt so real. And that is, of course, I think, what Star Wars has always been good at, because of its use of practical stuff, how real it felt. And the fact that the trash compactor scene, it was so tense. Are they going to survive? I can't believe it. They're not going to make it. What's going on? I can't believe this. And of course, saved at the last minute by 3PO. But it's very funny, because I know when you watch A New Hope now, it's a little bit slow-paced, But for the time, it was like a Bourne movie in its pacing. You know, it was very fast paced for the time. And of course, the space battles were just incredible. The dogfight over the Death Star, the trench run, absolutely amazing. And then when R2 gets hit by a laser beam, I just remember thinking, no, what's happening to R2? R2 can't die, he can't be destroyed, and everything. Which is why at the very end of the film, at the end of the medal ceremony, polished R2 comes up and everybody laughs because he's back, and it really pierced the tension that had built up. It was such a relief to see R2-D2 was completely fine. So, like I said, those are like my main memories of watching Star Wars. Like I say, I can still, if I think really hard, I'm right back in that moment, watching the crawl going up again, watching the droids crossing the corridor through the laser beams, all of that stuff. But yes, I thought I would just share my memories of seeing it with you, given that we're just a couple of days out from Star Wars. Because as you know, it has affected my life from that day until this one. As I've said in the past, it was like someone unscrewed the top of my head and let the universe in. It was the same for the other films as well, the original trilogy. What I remember mostly about Empire Strikes Back was coming out of it, just floating down the stairs, coming out of the cinema, where my mind was still back in Cloud City because that left such a huge impact, that incredible location. And obviously with Return of the Jedi, it was like, this is the denouement, it's over, they won. Luke burns his father, then he sees all the Force ghosts, and everyone lived happily ever after. At that point, they had anyway. But yes, those are my memories of seeing A New Hope when I was a very small child. Like I said, it was a hugely formative experience. Perhaps the most formative movie I have ever seen in my life, because I saw it at that young age. So I do wonder what effect, say, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had on the younger generation and what its cultural effects will be. Just because I heard my boss talking on the phone today, just complaining about something that hadn't been done. It's like, and it's not like I'm asking the Avengers to assemble here, you know. It's like, oh, it has got popular culture references as well now. But yes, that's perhaps a video I can do for another time, what the effect and cultural effect of the MCU will be. But I'd say those are just my memories of watching a Star Wars when it was Star Wars and there was none of this episode 4 nonsense. So I hope you enjoyed, and roll on celebration. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.